Hello and welcome to our CGL Tier 1 NA Finals. I'm here, Tiny Shiny here with Tryhard Ray. This is going to be their first Grand Finals of the summer 2021 season. Hey, I'm really looking forward to this today.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. First up to bat is the Tier 1, like you were saying. We got Flare versus Luminosity. I think we're going to be in for a good matchup here.
Not often you're going to see much of a Pharah here, and right now both of these teams are going to be sticking to that rush style.
Flare's going with a Sim Junk, while Luminosity is going with the Mei Kree, so that's very interesting. Normally you'd expect the Sim Mei together, but each team are just running Sim and Mei singularly by themselves. Definitely Flare's gonna get to the point faster, but if just Slayers on the Mei can get some good walls, it can really lead to a good advantage here.
Watching out for these Mei walls for sure, as we're seeing it go up in this tiny room. Not really going to be catching anybody off, but the Immortality has already been forced out of Ignition Flare. You cooldown, you're going to want to keep up. And it is going to be Flare taking control of that first point. Luminosity forced to push in as they're rushing in immediately, as that is going to be Bob Waffle taken out. Maintain gone. Now that's just going to be the cue for Luminosity. You're going to be rushing forward, getting aggressive here. EXO on the sides looking for this Baptiste, and that's just going to be who's swinging away in the front lines, and that's Luminosity taking that first capture.
Yeah, it was nice done there by Luminosity. I was getting a little worried for them because they weren't focusing down that Sim, but they did get the Reinhardt down, which is, if you can't get the Sim down, if you can get the Reinhardt down, it's just as good, and Window gets popped already.
How am I already able to get that Amplification Matrix up and ready to go, and now we're going to see an opposing one from Boeing Sun, and the Earth Shatter thrown down on top of it. Not going to catch anything, but it is going to be, again, a main tank going to be the first casualty. As the self-destruct is logged in, takes out YYY. This is looking really good for Ignition Flare. Main tank, main support out of the fight. And they're looking pretty solid to capture this point as they just expel a few final players on the point.
Yeah, that was nicely done. That Weebu was trying to, when they pop the window, try and get a cheeky shatter when they want to fire strike or start rushing, but Bob Waffle did a good job just holding shield, blocking that shatter, and they just got all their massive damage out through the window, and they just continue to snowball and take the point there. So nice done there by Ignition.
Ignition able to get that done. Are they going to be able to get the hold here? Yes, Ultimate's online for Luminosity, but the Earth Shatter hits 5! From Bob Waffle, right behind the shield. That Waboo, and just one ultimate quick fight win.
Yeah, that was nicely done there by Bob Waffle. They weren't scouting the Reinhardt very well. He gets a nice little flank shatter right there, gets 5 of them. And yeah, that's what scouting comes in here. They got to make sure they're scouting for all the different DPS here. But Luminosity is coming up on the High Noon from Cassidy, as well as the Blizzard. The 2 huge ultimates here that could regain them this point here. Again, so many ultimates being used on this side of Luminosity, and 3 for the Diva, 2 to the self-destruct, 1 to the remake. You love to see it. And that's pretty much just going to be a capture straight off of ultimate diff right there. Oh yeah, they used all their ultimates. They used Bomb, they used Blizzard, they used High Noon, but they needed to get the point there. They got it back, and they still have Window to use here, and you can normally get your shatter up off Window, so it could be looking good here, but Ignition does have tire and Window, so it could be, if they get a big tire here, that could be what they need to retake this point.
Those ultimates can be used to get those pickoffs really early on, and it is going to be the initiation plague using that rip tire. Still not going to get anything as EXO able to stop it out of the skies, and it's just an amplification matrix can be shredding through Bob Waffle. Luminosity looking good to hold on to this point for now. Now we're seeing another self-destruct lobbed in. It will take YYY. Flare coming back from this. Going to use a lot of resources into it, as well as they're looking for that Lucio the Flash fan combo from Spark, but gets a little too close to the Reinhardt. Get taken down. Yeah, but Luminosity is holding on to that point for an extra long time, getting that extra percentage up.
Yeah, they did get it to 90%, it looks like, so they could come in here. They got Beat Drop, and they're coming up on Diva Bomb, and they could get the point here. It's going to come down to, can they get a big bomb here and counteract the Shatter and High Noon that they're looking at on the side of Flare?
I'm looking for those. Wouldn't be surprised. Be careful with the shield. There's the Earth Shatter. 4 down. Bob Wobble has been on fire with these shatters. 2 so far. Over half the team, but only 1 casualty going to be the cause of that. We play being taken out the May Ice go to the face. Nonetheless, now we're going to be starting to see the other ultimates committed. See that self-destructive in the air. We see even the remech kill again onto the other Diva mech. Spark looking for that May, and the backline gets 2. Exo still looking to counteract their capacity. It's not going to be enough, as it's just all blue in the kill feed. Ignition Flare looking good. Amplification Matrix to top it off. That is going to be round 1.
Yeah, I think the big difference there in those fights was when it came to the Diva bombs, in general, Ignition Flare was doing a better job at everyone getting out of the LOS or the line of sight of the Diva bomb. Because it seemed like every time Ignition Flare's Diva threw up a bomb, it was getting at least one. It was the Baptiste, and that's just huge. If you can get one, especially the main support, you're looking good in the fights, and that's exactly what was happening for Flare.
Baptiste is going to be the majority of that heals, and as we're going to be moving over to Gardens here, Ignition Flare switching it up completely.
Oh yeah, going with the Ball Diva. Love to see it. I'd be curious to see how well it works out. You got it very well coordinated, and sometimes that's not always the case in Tier 1, but I love to see it. Love to see the pharmacy coming out. Let's see how well it works.
We'll be battling it out in the sky with the Pocketed Echo. Both of them have that Mercy support available. Ignition Flare only have that Lucio from JK Rule, though, so not a lot of heals in terms of that as far as going to be stuck with the Mercy. Complete clash of styles is Luminosity going to be taking the high ground with their main tank up there, but is going to be forced off after the Diva pressures him down. Suga getting that pick off, but again, this Mercy is coming in handy. Both going to be getting the reses off, but the punish is going to be there for Boeing Sun. A lot of heals down for Ignition Flare. They do have the stall potential though, so this is really to keep fight. Just even prevent Luminosity from getting those percentage on, and that's exactly what they're going to be doing. But Luminosity are actually going to start to stabilize a bit more and get those pickoffs, and Ignition Flare going to reset.
Oh man, just Slayer on the Echo, just getting a lot of value here. Already halfway to dupe. The Exo's already got high noon on the Cassidy there, and they already got window. I mean, it's tough when you're running this Ball Diva because you need the Ball, the Diva, and the Tracer at least all collapsing on the same target, and ideally, I mean, in this case, it's the Echo now, but before it was the Pharaoh. You want all 4 of them collapsing together on the same targets, and that's how you focus them down quickly, because alone, these tanks don't do a lot of damage by themselves, and you're just not seeing that right now. Ooh, big high noon.
Whoa, there's the Deadeye. Exo got 2 from that one. It is still almost an even fight. Immortality Field is forced out from Luminosity. The trade's still going both ways. Again, the point control is really been handy. Luminosity has been able to hold on to that control. Sauga, though, causing problems. Chasing down the Echo, taking matters into their own hands. Now looking for the Baptiste as well, getting them down. This is what you need to do. You need to be focusing down these targets, and that's what Ignition Flare seem to finally be figuring out what they need to do.
Yeah, for sure. I was a little surprised there when the Hammond popped mines there. It looked like the Rhine had a really good opportunity to shatter, get rid of most of those mines, and get the Diva at least. I'm surprised he didn't take that opportunity. Maybe they just decided as a team they wanted to save their ultimates. They got 5 coming up to take the point here, so maybe that was their thought process, but they definitely could have stalled it out longer doing that.
Sure, you have a lot of these characters that have high mobility, hard to kill, and not even going to give much of a chance for Luminosity to get on the point before they're putting in that self-destruct, making it work. Now we're seeing the Earth Shatter. Only going to be hitting the Tracer, but thankfully JK Rule available with that sound barrier. And look at this, just Slayers is poking in on the side, nobody paying attention to them. Finally, you're going to see the Reinhardt turn around, but they're getting focused down in their own right, just trying to stay alive. Well, this is where we're going to see the kills come in. Plague with that duplicate, it is Luminosity going to be coming out seemingly on top. It's still looking pretty decent. There's the self-destruct on the point, taking out any remaining players. Eva going down, and Ignition Flare are still getting this point capture up, and they're coming back into this fight.
Yeah, I mean, this Ball Diva comp is definitely more survivable because, Ball obviously can get away from fights very quickly, go get health packs. Diva has the boosters to get herself out. Tracer, obviously, very survivable. So, in the long run, in these long extended fights, the advantage is going to Ignition because they just have the survivability.
Have that survivability, not a whole lot really to deal with it. We're seeing self-destruct lobbed into the back. Not gonna get anything there. Spark is gonna be causing chaos in the back. Exo going down, pulse bomb stuck onto the Reinhardt shield. Plague there to follow it up though. Still going is the Echo duplicate now on the field. Just Slayers showing them what they can bring to the table, but it might be too late as Plague has found 2 on their own. Just Slayers gets demexed before that ultimate is online, and again, it's all Ignition Flare on the point. Overtime ticking down, and that is going to be the conclusion of map number 1.
Yeah, very nicely done there from Ignition Flare. I think you could just tell the chaotic, like, even if you're not running the Ball Diva comp to its greatest potential, which I don't think Ignition Flare was running it to its greatest potential. Obviously, it's tough to coordinate it and get everyone diving on the same targets, but especially in these lower tiers, just the amount of chaos that these comps cause, just because I got a ball from this angle, I got a Diva from another angle, I got Tracer.
A Junkrat, maybe something a bit more, you can crack through these shields. But Reaper is going to be looking to crack through this tank, so he's looking at Spark here. Get some shots early on. No one going to be peeking from the side of Luminosity. We're expecting the Widowmaker and are playing accordingly to it. Ignition Flare are going to be starting their push in from the side, but are waiting for Spark to swap over to the Symmetra here.
Interesting decision. If they could really catch him off guard here, it could work. They got the teleporter up, they got destroyed immediately. Unfortunately, they were ready for that.
They were definitely ready for that teleporter, and now you're seeing Spark get that beam up to high charge. You just have a Reinhardt shield to shoot at. It's gonna shred through Luminosity right now, but again, it's gonna be Ignition Flare losing down on those health banks as Bob Waffle, the first casualty of the map. A nice headshot from Just Slayers on this. Hanzo already has a Dragon Strike online in less than a minute. Just from hitting those.
Yeah. Insane. That was really nicely done by Luminosity. They were able to back up, regroup as a team, allow them to take 1 tick. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. They were able to just get their composure and just recapture the point. It's okay to give up a tick sometimes in these situations.
Did give up that tick, again, able to come back, and now this is going to be Ignition Flare. Using those ultimates, Symmetra Barrier causing problems for Luminosity, having to use that sound barrier to keep in the fight, but it is working out as that Weibo, again, moving forwards with that hammer. They're going to be still holding on here.
Yeah, for sure, and Ignition Flare is starting to get up their ultimates. They're almost there. They got the beat drop. They got the Death Blossom. As Spark swaps over to the Cassidy, probably trying to get a little bit more poke because the Hanzo already almost at another Dragon Strike. Incredible from Just Slayers.
And if you're just able to, it's such a narrow sight line, you can get these ultimates up super quick, and you're going to be wanting to use them quick as well. Any early pickoff you can get. That's why you want to use the ultimates early, like we just saw from YYY there with that amplification matrix. Now, this is where we're going to see Ignition Flare start to commit. There's the Earth Shatter, comboed up with the Self-Destruct. That Weibo not going to be making it much farther. But now is where we're going to see the Dragon Strike a little too late. Now, Ignition Flare using their own sound barrier, using that extra health to get extra aggressive. Rightfully so, and they're looking pretty good to capture this point off and get the payload.
Yeah, I do think that window from YYY unfortunately was early. When you want to pop a window as the team is in the middle of their rotation, and I think they just popped it a little early, so they were able to just back up and wait it out. So really, it just became a zoning ult at that point. But yeah, that really came down to Ignition Flare got their ultimates out before Luminosity, and they were able to take the point because of that.
To get that point up, but now Luminosity have the ultimates of their own. Now here's their Earth Shatter Self-Destruct, taking out Bob Waffle, very similar to what we saw with that previous combo. Again, without your main tank and this small choke, you're not going to be going anywhere if you're Ignition Flare.
Yeah, no, you're not, definitely. You need your Reinhardt. As soon as the Reinhardt goes down, you need to just completely back out of that. You're not winning that fight. Just cut your losses there and just regroup. It's not a big deal. You can get this. They are coming up. Oh, no, I just think the Death Blossom's going to be really big here. If they can demech the D.Va and just get an enormous Death Blossom here, I think that's their win condition here.
Definitely want that to happen. That amplification matrix, a little questionable, but you know what? It is okay because Plague has got you covered. 5 kills for them, and that is a team wipe.
Don't you just love when your predictions actually come out to happen? Love it. Nicely done there by Plague with the Death Blossom there. Gets 4.
Gotta be feeling good about that one for sure.
Luminosity is coming up on. They got the High Noon here. They got the window and they got the beat drop. So they do have the ingredients here. Oh, but Spark gets a double with that High Noon.
It's not even going to be a contest after that one. It's just Spark is on. Literally sparked the flame that got Ignition through that last point.
Again, as you can see there, even though Luminosity had the ultimate advantage, Ignition was a lot more proactive about using the few ultimates they had, and they win because of it.
Using those ultimates early on, again, Luminosity want to take this initiative. You'd love to see that with YYY, with these amplification matrices. Have been doing a really good job of that. Man, it just a stall out on the point! But there is the Earth Shatter. Bob Waffle lands down to 5. Easy when there's nobody to block it. That's just going to be swinging away, keeping the ball rolling this cart, moving forwards. Self-destruct into the back, though. Only going to take out that Immortality field. D.Va going down the side of Ignition Flare could be critical as they move on to having the spawns not in their favor, but there's the Earth Shatter again from the Weibo. 2 down with EXO on the case with the Deadeye. It's going to be the hold from Luminosity.
Yeah, Ignition did have the Reaper swap to the Junk here. No swaps here in Luminosity. I do think a big problem they're having right now is that Reinhardt, that Weebu, is not playing cover very well. He's playing out in the open. One of the reasons they lost that fight initially and they got so much cart space was he swung out wide toward like where the hole is that you can boot people in, and he got punished for it. They just need to be play a lot more safer, especially when you have corners to play on.
Sure, and you're seeing every single ultimate used at once. And the only one that's not going off is that Dragon Strike. There's the Earth Shadow, there's the Riptire. My screen is literally frozen because there's so much happening right now. Can't even tell you what's going on.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible, just all the ultimates coming out from both sides. There's this spawn, Slayer gets a huge pick onto the Lucio. EXO gets the Junkrat. It's looking good here for Luminosity to continue to hold, especially with the spawn advantage that they have for their players.
Oof, yeah, now that chaos is over, it's gonna be Ignition Flare down to only a minute to take this last few meters.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is they pretty much dumped everything they had into that and they didn't get it done. Luminosity has the dragons to work with here and High Noon. So they really got to hope they can get a quick dry fight and get an ultimate or two up here, and then big dragon strike there.
That's what you want. You get 2. I don't even know how that happened, but you're gonna take it if you're Luminosity. It's just to the end of the push right there, and there's just more time gone.
Yeah, and it looks like we're gonna come down to final fight here, and Luminosity has the High Noon and the Shatter, and all Flare's working with is a window, and maybe they build up Tire in this fight, possibly a tactical visor. So it's
Shatter 5. Ignition Flare on their backs, losing their main tank early on, but this amplification matrix comboed up with those huge rockets is huge. There's the visor. They're able to build stuff up. Spark making it happen once again. Going to be the difference maker, pushing Ignition Flare through that point. They're going to capture.
Wow, that was just incredible there by Spark. Things were just looking really bad for Ignition. He pulls out the tactical. He got a double with his Helix rockets. Then pulls out the tactical visor, gets 2 more. That was just incredible carry there by Spark.
Have to be giving some credit there to Bowlingson as well. Without that amplification, Matrix Spark wouldn't have nearly gotten done as much as he did. After that Earth Shatter, I thought it was all over just at that point, but Ignition Flare proved us wrong for sure, and they're going to be the ones on the defense.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're Luminosity, you do got to feel kind of good. You got them all the way to overtime, especially after how those, especially the way second did not go very well for them. To get them all the way to overtime, you set yourself up if you do well enough on your attack to only give yourself a second attack. So let's see what they can do here.
Have the time, they have the opportunity. They definitely set the bar pretty high for Luminosity going into this, and looking at their compositions, I think we're seeing a mirror battle.
Yeah, it's a full-on mirror. It's Ryan Diva, Lucio Bap with May Cassidy, both sides. No surprise, it's a really good comp to run on this map. It's going to come down to which May can get the better walls.
Those May walls, so powerful. One of the main reasons that May as well, able to set up these kills, especially with these Reinhardt Lucios, able to just speed in, swing, pin, anything. Literally change the layout of the map. Such an advantage, but Luminosity being careful about how they push in. Just Slayers is going down early, and now we're seeing the May wall from Plague as well, and in addition Flare, pushing their advantage, knowing they do not have to worry about that May wall anymore. It's just going to be kind of a stall out until the respawns come back.
Yeah, I think Luminosity is spending a little too much time sitting in choke. Especially with this comp, you need to like just rush into their face and get a good wall and start taking people out pretty quickly. You can't spend time taking poke in this kind of composition.
I mean, your point is literally proven right there as EXO take an ice cold to the face as well. Now they're just waiting again.
Yeah, looks like we got window here from Luminosity. If they play this right, it could be huge here. But Spark does have the Deadeye here, so looks like he's gonna get ready to use it here.
Both of them being used, unfinding any value. Great defense matrix from Luminosity's Diva player. That out just in time in front of that amplification matrix as well. Very risky. Cost them a mech. Still, no, Luminosity isn't committing just yet to the fight. And again, they're down their Diva, they're down their Baptiste. Isn't looking too good for them. Ignition Flare gonna be holding on. Did they just use the Earth Shadow? No, they didn't. I don't hear anything. Ignition Flare.
They did lose their May there, so if they can just get back as a team together very quickly, especially if Ignition Flare doesn't take their Lucio May back, they could have a huge advantage in this fight. But as I see the Lucio going back to go get the May right now. So, you know, very, very nicely done there by Ignition.
Now we're going to see the sound barrier from Gage from Luminosity. That's what you like to see. Earth Shatter laid down from Bob Waffle. That's going to be 3 on their backs, but the sound barrier from Ignition Flare still in the back pocket. Maybe giving that extra health, and just like that She-Devil back to spawn. Still pushing forwards, Ignition Flare making it work. Flashbang from Spark. Again, this guy has been on fire. Barely managing to stay alive through all of that. Has another Deadeye up again.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, we saw just on these maps, Spark has been the carry. The soldier on the last on the attack. Now with the Cassidy here on the defense. Like I said, coming into this, I think Spark was going to be the one to look out for.
Want to see that, but the Blizzard is eating up a Slayer's huge opportunity. God, is that a double rematch kill? Saruga with 2 from that. Oh, I don't know how that happened, but that is the highlight of this match so far. Now it just, look how far up they are.
Yeah, they're just playing up at spawn at this point, just trying to get stagger picks at this point, just trying to waste as much time as possible. They have Blizzard here too. It's not looking good here for Luminosity. Blizzard can just end a fight just alone.
They're looking for There's the Earth Shatter. They don't even get that Blizzard off. It's everybody, except for EXO, falling victim to Bob Waffle and the Earth Shatter. Another team wipe. One fight left to go.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to the last 5 seconds here. Let's see if they can even get a touch here. That was a big wall there by the Mei. They do get the touch, but it's, I don't know what if it's gonna be enough here. It's not looking good here.
Summer got the touch, but courtesy that Lucio not gonna be getting too much done. Its Ignition Flare has that sound barrier. Another Earth Shatter from Bob Waffle. Why not? Just the Tracer left, and Luminosity not going to be coming up here as Ignition Flare 2-0.
Wow. Just what a dominating effort there by Flare as we see the play of the game here from Bob Waffle. Let's see how it works here. It's going to be the big shatter he got here through the window.
That's just brutal. This second, like seriously, it wasn't even half a second before that shield was down that Bob Waffle down that
Speed boosting, because it's going to be really tough for them to get through choke without like a Lucio or something like that. So they're going to be relying heavily on some, like, just trying to get a pick here with a Pharah or some junk spam.
I mean, you're going to want to get that spam in, but just Slayers took a shot from Spark in the back. You're going to be playing much safer than that. Again, they're going to be moving through, and Spark already taking out EXO before they're even in that room yet.
Yeah, I mean, the Widow, they don't have much to protect here. All they have is a Rhine shield, and it just gets obliterated by the spam on the front line here. So Widow just gets free reigns to shoot whoever.
This is what you want to see. That Weeboo moving their way over towards point, and now you're going to be finally able to get your D.Va up on that high ground, contesting that Mercy. Spark able to get the Pharah, not before the resurrection takes place, and now just Slayers chasing them down in the back line. Tired of having to deal with them in the skies. Finally going to be set through. Zago, the only one left on point for Ignition's Flare right now. Are you able to get a pick off as well as a DMAC? It's not going to be enough. It is possible for a recontest though, as there are still a couple players that have been hanging out in this small room. Coleman might even be looking for that rematch kill to be able to get it. They are going to be losing out on their Orisa Ignition Flare, starting to lose their balance. But Zua has this Prophetic Flux online, able to get the Baptiste up in the air. Are they able to finish the kill? Not necessarily, so still holding on. So much has been going on this fight, and even Plague has decided to commit. The Riptire got two, Spark with the third. They coming back from this Plague on the point, not be able to get it is just Slayers, the Pharmacy. Finally gonna be the last one standing.
Wow, if you're Flare, that is just, oh, that you committed so much into that fight to try and keep it and to just lose it. Oh, that, because you're not gonna have much coming into here. They're immediately swapping to a Torb here and Soldier. But there's, yeah, all they have with themselves is Window now. Luminosity has the Shatter, has the Barrage, has the Window. So I mean, it's looking real good for Luminosity here if they can just use their ults properly here.
Might be looking for a classic assault map snowball onto the second point. The amount of switches that Ignition Flare made, they're definitely not in favor of their ultimates right now. But they are going to be able to take the initiation with that amplification matrix out front, preventing any pressure from Luminosity for the immediate moment until it goes down. EXO though, great pick to start out with. There's that Earth Shatter, comboed up with that Barrage. It is gonna be a 4 going the way of Luminosity. They're cleaning house. So even using that tactical visor, they want to make this work. But Bob Waffle has to find out some way onto that point before it's captured, able to get the last second touch. Barely before they're taken out themselves. Now it's just going to be chaos. You want to get that stalled. You don't want to be stuck with a 3-minute plus time bank. They're waiting for the picks. Wow, how is this happening? Spark finding the damage on the point, managing to stay alive. Somehow, this is happening. Suga finds the Mercy as well. They're still in this fight. It is amazing. No matter how much has been admitted, why even use an amplification matrix? It's still going on, but Flare, those respawns, gonna be the difference maker.
Wow. That was incredible. Honestly, just watching that fight from my perspective, that really came down to uh Boeing-san got a huge immortality that saved their Diva and their Lucio and just pumped the heals into them, and then Lucio picked off two. I think that immortality was everything there.
Both Baptiste players actually have been really on point with their immortality fields. Just looking very strong overall, but now for Luminosity, you don't got a whole lot to work with at the moment. Ignition Flare on that upper hand. There's the Earth Shatter. Not going to get anything. That's their own grave. There's the self-destruct into the back. Resurrection is available for that Reinhardt. It is going to be Spark with that tactical visor in the back. Oh, actually, no, excuse me. EXO with that tactical visor. Taking out their soldier counterpart. Now just kind of stuck in the back, spamming. And look at all that damage they're putting in. Ow, what is happening? Here's the Earth Shatter committed as well. That reboot not getting anything done. Now is what we're going to see Spark with their own tactical visor somewhere on the point. Plague on this Torbjorn, finding the headshots. Turret is a little assist. Still, Luminosity holding strong.
Oh yeah. Flair's doing a good job holding strong here. Luminosity, they're on the Hanzo. Flair, who on Kings Row did a very good job on the Hanzo. So if you can build out a Dragons here, you're coming close to Diva Bomb and Window here. You just build up a few ultimates here, and you don't need much. You just need one tick.
Not a whole lot. Yeah, they got to that 92.6% mark. They're in that. And they actually did see Spark swap over to the Ashe as well. So that's definitely something new, but didn't really respect EXO a whole lot there. Gonna be punished for that. Great opening for them. Luminosity now gonna have Slayers use that.
Oh!
Dragon gets two again. Caught in that tiny little spare wheel. Nowhere to go. It's looking like to be another cap unless we're seeing a miracle happen. There's nobody to touch from Ignition Flare. Luminosity able to get the capture.
Yeah, like I said, they built up Diva Bomb, they built up that Dragons. You just needed to build up a few ultimates, because all you needed was a tick. And the Dragons came in, got two. I mean, that was not great there by Spark. Like you said, not respecting EXO, peeking him, and EXO picks him off, and that really opened things up there for Luminosity, unfortunately.
Ignition Flare also did have all of their support ults available at the end of that match, and didn't really even get a chance to use them as well. Definitely a change of pace. Luminosity starting to show some strength and signs of hope here as the series continues to go on. They're going to be moving over to the defensive role now.
Well, look at what we're seeing there from Flair, the ball diva. That's what I want to see. I love watching this comp. So I'm going to be very excited to see, like I said, there's that big ball rollout you can do to try and knock some people off the high ground. Interestingly enough, Luminosity is just sticking to the rush. They do not want to get off it. They are going to play a pharmacy on the defense with the soldier. This is not the ideal comp you want to be running on defense, but I mean, they're sticking true to what they're good at. I mean, that's what you want to do here in the finals.
Exactly. It's what they know. It's what that they know that they can do. It's what's worked for them in the past. Why did they want to swap it now? And curious to see, is just Slayers going to be running wild without really a true counter on the side of Ignition Flare here?
There's the rollout. He's not going to be able to boop everyone off, unfortunately.
Not going to get the boop. It's a Mercy super low, but actually going to be EXO going down. That's a great start. Not able to stop the res. Out the pocket, though, just Slayers. Not going to be flying around for any much longer. Spark again being the playmaker for Ignition Flare. Plague has free reign up in the skies right now. Putting on those rockets. Damage boosted. 150 damage for a direct shot, I believe. Don't want to be anywhere near those. It's almost going to be the capture. A few more people from Luminosity just going to be trying to take a little bit more time out, feed up those ultimates, but in the process, Ignition Flare get quite amount of ultimate percentage of their own.
Yeah, unfortunately, they also threw Immortality Field there, so they're not going to have that for what is it, like another 25 seconds? So it's not looking good. The snowball could be real here for Ignition Flare.
Sure. Lot of time in their time bank, much more than Luminosity had. They began their attack. Spark looking for a target for this pulse bomb. Not checking it in just yet. Had to use the recall to get out of that. We're still looking for it. There's the pulse bomb. Only going to be getting the immortality field. But there's the sound barrier engaged, followed by the barrage. Why down. A lot of the heals from Luminosity. If the res does not get off, there it is. But did have to use the Valkyrie to get it. Plague chasing down targets right now. Again, Spark has been on top of this bar. This is the second time that I've seen them going down to that Exo. Oh no. That's an outplay right there, and Exo has that tactical visor. Plague not gonna let them get anything done with that though. Still has that Mercy pocket, still looking to get stuff done. 35 HP. Ignition Flare still trying their best to get something done. Self-destruct isn't gonna be used at the point. Mercy going down. Still something they could use. There's the Earth Shatter. That didn't only hit the Diva, I believe. Ignition Flare are looking good. Blue in the kill feed. Haven't even built up a tick yet on this point. There it is, finally able to get it. We're still going on. Luminosity need to come back into this. Self-destruct, great opportunity for them. Not gonna get anything. Remake not even gonna be available. Bob Waffle on top of that one. There's the barrage from Just Slayers. Not happening either. It's do or not right now, and Ignition Flare are making it sure they're gonna get this point. They want it now. They've committed the resources, and it is looking good for them as the capture finally comes through.
Yeah, again, the snowball was real. It wasn't the classic snowball where you get it like immediately after, but that was very fast. I mean, at the end of the day, I really think it really came down to the chaos, because that fight took a very long time, and normally in long drawn out fights like that, especially when you have spawn disadvantage, that tends to favor the defense heavily. But just the chaos they were creating from just many different people from many different angles, I think that really led into them getting that despite the spawn disadvantage they had in the long drawn out fight.
Like you just look at these two team compositions. You see the Bald Diva, the amount of mobility that they have is really just infinitely more compared to that of that more of a rush style, and it really just kind of showed, especially on that stall out point. Luminosity going to be taking the attack once again, and not seeing anything else but that Rhyme Diva.
This is interesting. This is really going to come down a lot on Spark, because they're going to go double flyer here. I mean, Echo can definitely help them with the flyers, but it's going to come down to, can Spark put a lot of pressure onto this Echo pharmacy that they're going to run?
We're also not seeing a Mercy as well, so could be a bit of a disadvantage. Jake will roll on that Lucio. Yes, that gives him the speed to go in and get out. Not really going to help too much in terms of damage. Luminosity are just going to be going right in. DPS trading out. But again, that's the Mercy dip. You have that resurrection available, and just slays back in the fight. Soga looking to chase him down. Mercy not going to let that happen anytime soon. Still swinging away on the point. Bob Waffle looking for, they have to stabilize. Ignition Flare, how to make something happen here. Not going to be the case. Spark, keep pick on that Mercy and play pulling it up onto that Pharah. One pair down quickly. Again, Spark back in the fight. Is that playmaker for Ignition Flare? His name's Spark for a reason. He sparks that flare and keeps it moving all the way along, and 8 seconds remaining. Luminosity even going to be able to touch here. There's the amplification.
No, I don't think
matrix.
so.
Oh, they got the tag in. But that's going to last about 0.2 seconds before the overtime ticks it down.
Yeah, Ignition Flares put themselves in a really good position here. They have plenty of time, and all they need is one tick here on Temple of Anubis first point.
One tick, that 33%. What, they have 3.5 minutes to do it?
Yeah, and I mean they took the first point very quickly with that ball diva comp they ran on their first attack. It could very well happen again. Luminosity's got to change something up. Something's got to change here if they want to turn this around and avoid going down 3-0.
This was their map pick as well. I would think that there was something interesting that Luminosity had planned out here. No, they're looking like they're going to be keeping with what they've been running. Ignition Flare going back to this disruption comp, and it's been working out for them. Why would they switch off now? Luminosity, do they have the answer?
I mean, it looks like their answer is they're going to run EXO on the Cassidy and hope that the stun can really help out here. It's going to rely on a lot of good stuns from the Cassidy. It's going to rely on a lot of good peel from the Diva here. So they're asking a lot out of their Cassidy and Diva.
You got one flashbang and one set of boosters. It's not a whole lot that's going to be taking care of this. There's the rollout. Mercy traded for a Pharah. I'd take that any day. Plague even has that res available as well. Ignition Flare know that they have the win condition. They're pushing on it. Now you're going to see EXO. This is it. Eyes on the prize. They want this point, and they are looking like they are going to get it. Luminosity's Diva player, the only one left on the point. Them at the moment. Lucio able to get back just in time. Wants to sold this out to get back, but nope, that is going to be Ignition Flare still holding strong. Last few contesters. EXO, this is not over till it's over. Luminosity want to make it work. Unable to get it, and Flare's up 3-0 match point.
Yeah, I mean, again, very impressive there from Flare. There's how much more flexible they are. We have not seen Luminosity swap off the rush at all here. Ignition Flare has shown a little bit of flair here, being able to play this ball diva comp. I'm gonna go with the Echo Cassidy here, so and Luminosity is going with the Widow Cassidy with the Ryan Diva. Yeah, they're gonna continue to play the rush that they've been playing this entire series.
Not surprising at this point. Just Slayers is on that Widowmaker in the beginning here, looking for a pick with Ignition Flare playing around that corner. Not going to be making it easy for shots to get off from that initial spawn. So, Luminosity are going to be taking that space, are going to get the round that first corner with much not really going on, but it is going to be Bob Waffle finding Lucio with the hammer. A little too close there. Now, without a support, you just gotta be walking forwards, and that's exactly what's gonna be happening. This cart is at a stall. Bob Waffle going down, though. It leaves a lot of space open for Luminosity to get some space gained.
Oh yeah, if you're Ignition Flare, you gotta back up. You don't have your Reinhardt. You just want to back up, get over to the bridge so you can hold at the next corner when your Reinhardt gets back. They do pop a window here. Yeah, they're just gonna make sure that they get the pick they need in order to just gain all this space.
It looks like that they're getting it as well. Bob Waffle is back in the fight, but again, you're still in a 5v6. Luminosity has the upper hand in terms of numbers. They're going to be pushing all the way up to this last corner. It does leave Ignition Flare space to get one last contest out of this point. They have the ultimates as well. There's the Earth Shatter from Bob Waffle. Hits 4 again, making the plays happen. Getting that Earth Shatter around the shield again and again, and that is going to be the cleanup after they had Amplification Matrix. Ignition Flare holding on to this point.
They do pick off Spark there. I don't think it's really going to matter because, yeah, and down goes the Diva. So, hell, they popped the duplicate there. Unfortunate. Not what you wanted. If you're Ignition Flare, you're kind of wasting it at this point.
Definitely would have liked to hold on to that for Ignition Flare. I mean, you still have a lot to work with here. And now we're going to see both Deadeyes used, respectively.
Ooh.
Finding 2 with that, but this traded out with the self-destruct, both finding doubles. With the sound barrier advantage, JK Rule giving that extra health. We're going to see Ignition Flare with yet another hold.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Luminosity. Their Lucio did have beat drop. I'm surprised he didn't commit it to there when the bomb got thrown. Could have really helped your team sustain, but they do have 4 ultimates coming into this fight. They should have exactly what they need to secure this point here. 5 ultimates, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Out comes the tactical visor window.
Yep. You say 5 ultimates, that means that we are going to be seeing 5 ultimates. And that is exactly what it is. Spark, though, striking back with a double kill from that Deadeye. Wants to make this fight continue on. Don't want to give it up just yet. They know they're close to the victory. They're able to go in close. Just Slayers are going to be taking them down. Owenson, though, back on the fight, on the field. Gets 2 with a sliver of HP remaining. Again, Ignition Flare are not going to be letting this go anytime soon.
Yeah, we're coming up on last fight territory here. Final 30 seconds. All they're working with here is Diva Bomb and Beat Drop. We do get the swap to the to the Tracer here for Luminosity. They're gonna have to hopefully get a big bomb here, but all it gets is the Immortality field.
Nothing coming out of that self-destruct. Plague and Spark going down. Just Slayers making this Soldier 76 works. Even able to get that tactical visor online. Luminosity looking to be able to pull this through in the final seconds to keep their chances alive. And Boingson going off the map as well. Oh, by okay.
Wow, that was huge there for Just Slayer. He really came through for keeping their hopes alive here as they get a chance to push second point here. Ignition Flare does have that duplicate online now. Let's hit it like he did on the last one.
Let's hope that that isn't the case for Ignition Flare's sake. A lot of desirable targets for that duplicate as well. Ignition Flare not choosing to engage just yet, holding on to this high ground, maybe looking to go around the back. That's what it is, waiting for that speed boost. Wrap it around the side, and Waffle not going to be making it through that one. We are going to be seeing the duplicate from Plague onto that Diva. The Earth Shatter from that Weebo in the back, taking out the support line, is going to make this difficult for the fight to continue on much further, despite the double kill from that self-destruct.
Oh, Luminosity is coming in here with some good picks, and they have Tactical Visor to work with here. Big Shatter. They do get the DMAC on the Diva there, however.
Able to get that DMAC and keep it up. Great Immortality field. Bowenson able to get a lot of that Pulse Bomb. Not going to be enough, however, for that Tactical Visor. Fortunately for them, Sound Barrier has been committed from Luminosity. That extra shield health. Making that work. Not be able to get past the flash ban of Spark, who's looking for the Tracer now on the high ground. Looking for it, not going to get it, but Suga has got him covered. 2 of their own, looking for the Diva. That's honest. It's going to be another stagger. We're back to the brink for Luminosity.
Yeah, and Diva did the right thing there, just jumped off the edge. Coming down to the final fight for the second point here. Luminosity's not looking too good on ults here. All they're really looking at is a Diva Bomb, and they can probably farm up a window and maybe a Pulse Bomb, maybe a Shatter. And then Ignition Flare has Bomb, have High Noon as it gets used right now.
Self-destruct? There's no way that happened! Waited just to the last second for that Defense Matrix to wear out, and Spark was able to get the D-Mike and the Lucio in that. This is looking like Ignition Flare all the way. They got again, they have been on top of this initiation the entire time, and they're making it work. You get the takes before the fight even begins. That Weebo, though, not done yet. 3 picks of their own off the back of the Earth Shatter. Are they going to carry this fight? They're going to make it happen. Only 150 HP left, barely anything. Not going to make it, but that just cleared the way for Luminosity to find a window. Spawn advantage, though, for Ignition Flare. They're just going to be too great. You see just Slayers back on the Sabra. Self-destruct now on top of the point. Going to be getting the D-Back and Lucio again. Continue. Luminosity want this fight in. They want to win it. They know that they have to. The last chance for them. Bob Waffle, though, has something to say about that. There's the duplicate Plague back in this as well. So long, they wanted to fight for it, but it is eventually going to be cleared off the point by Ignition Flare.
Wow, that was just an incredible series of fights there at the end. Just really at the end of the day, that really just came down to spawn advantage that Ignition had. And, you know, nicely done there. They have their win condition here. Basically, they just have to complete second point here on Rialto, and they will be the Tier 1 CGL champions.
Now you say it like it's simple, which, honestly, it might be. It's not. Rialto didn't get to that third point just yet. One can really be a struggle. Even on the second point can take a while. Luminosity know that this is all or nothing for them. Their season is on the line. The championship is on the line. They have to make something happen, and it's gonna have to be now.
Oh yeah, for sure. It looks like they're going to pull out Just Slayer on that Hanzo, and they're going to run a Torb here. Interestingly enough, it doesn't look like Ignition Flare is going to elect to play the Ball Diva here. They're just going to play the, I guess, more safer, more reliable Rhine Diva comp. Oh, I thought I saw Pirate Ship there for a second.
Honestly, you'll have to see the Pirate Ship. You can see that on Rialto quite a bit, actually. But not gonna be what they're going for. Really, I'm really curious to see how are they able to use this speed boost from JK Roll to really get into these fights, because She-Devil isn't gonna be on the Lucio, on Luminosity's defense. Again, the Immortality Field already out for Ignition Flare, struggling to get around this corner so far. Want to take just the amount of time to get out there. Again, the spam damage is insane. You can see how low both Reinhardt shields are. Eventually, they are going to be moving up to the high ground Shua on there, being contested by their opposing Diva. Bob Waffle, again, just the fights for the corners. That's exactly what we've been seeing. Why? In that amplification matrix up first, barely saving themselves with that mortality field, but it is going to force Ignition Flare to take their foot off the gas for a moment. But as soon as that's down, that's when you're going to see the push. Spark, able to get the Reinhardt, and honestly, that is pretty much a fight over at that point. Unless you have Suga to say something about that, who has a 3K in the bag, looking for a fourth. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, for sure. They got the Rhine first. Ignition Flare got the Rhine first, and the Mercy then had to sacrifice her life to res the Reinhardt, and then you're just at a disadvantage at that point, and Ignition Flare was able to take advantage of that.
Be able to get it through. There's the Dragon Strike. Again, Just Slayer's been working magic with these. The Earth Shatter, though, from that Weeboo. Binding players on the ground. There's a self-destruct into the back.
Oh!
Whoa, Saruga!
No way! Wow. Wow.
No words.
Just incredible. I thought Luminosity was going to sustain there, and then as soon as I saw that Diva Bomb get thrown, I was actually thinking in my head that could be huge, and it was huge.
It was. And that fight was looking so grim, but got a lovely self-destruct to turn that one around. And look at this space that Ignition Flare is taking. They only have one player on the cart, so it's not going to be moving a whole lot. But they're gaining the space that they're going to be needing, and they're able to get the Diva out of mech early on. And that really could be key going in, especially playing using that duplicate along with the extra health. It's becoming desperation time. Molten Core out on the point. Here's another self-destruct on the field. Gets two. Still, it's going both ways. Luminosity still finding the kills. Not enough compared to Ignition, though. Self-destruct taking out the main support probably is going to be the key to send the reset in.
Yeah, for sure. Luminosity, they're coming up on Shatter here and Valk, but that's about it. Flare has just Shatter and Bomb, so that's a really big combo they could use here. I would probably be holding on to Shatter to combo with Bomb. Could be exactly what they need to just finish this off.
One fight away from taking that championship. They've worked so hard the entire season. Want to get it now, and there's the Earth Shatter. It's 5 again. It is powerful. This guy has been on top of it the entire series, and in the end, it is going to be that play that is going to probably set the difference here. The amount of stall that Lowell has been able to get, though, has been a lot. It does leave the door open for a recontest from Luminosity. They don't want to give this up yet. They're still in it, but it's not going to be for much longer. There's the Valkyrie as well. Able to stay alive with that immortality field. Not for much longer, though. Slaves get that tactical visor online in time. Elga, though, on top of that with the defense matrix, negating all of that damage. And again, this is the second recontest we've seen from that Reinhardt, but that is going to be it. Ignition Flare taking that championship 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, incredible job there by Flare. Shoutouts to Luminosity. You know, they had a great season, made it all the way to finals. But, I mean, the better team clearly won here. It was a 4-0. It was just a massive victory here from Flare. They were the more flexible team. They just had more skilled players in general. And it's no surprise here that the Ignition gets the victory here. It's been me here to Try Hard Ray with Tiny Shiny. And again, thank you guys all for showing up. And we will see you guys at the next broadcast that we do. Thanks, guys. See you later.